for, gotta feed them. You gotta stop, and you gotta feed them. Because one thing about me, when I'm hungry,
You gonna make sure you eat.
you gotta eat. Ain't that right? So when y'all hear y'all kids crying, just stop, just take a break, and get them a snack. It's the only way to get them to shut up. That's it. It's simple.
Y'all see they quiet as a bee.
Hey, quiet. It's okay to take a break,
Look,
y'all.
I mean, he happy.
It's okay. It's better than listen to y'all kids cry. And to the people that want to see the kids, here they are.
Y'all always asking about the kids. Here they are.
Here's my controversial opinion, so be aware. If you don't like controversy, don't watch it. This is my own theory, right? So you always you wonder why, right? Women complain, oh, men are crappy, deadbeat fathers, abusive men, toxic men, thugs, criminals, violent men, all this stuff. Okay? Why there's so many of these men, right? It is because women choose to continue the lineage of these terrible men. Women choose to give children to criminals, to abusers, to cheaters, to violent men. Women choose these men. And they choose to give these men children, continue the lineage. And what do you think those kind of children will become? Most likely repeating the cycle of either becoming like their fathers, or like women, like the girls will become like their mothers, i.e. continue having children with terrible men, right? This is the thing, right? This man is like, he's absolutely a terrible father. He's a terrible leader. It's a terrible image of a father. Okay? Eating chips off of the floor. You didn't buy food for your kids. You're just eating food from a store. You're just sitting down in an aisle, eating food off of the floor, eating food that you just took from the aisles. What? You should not be taking any advice from a man like this. You should not be following a man like this. Here's a woman giving the man, well, how many children was that? 5 children? And it's like, great that they're together, but what type of future adults these kids will turn into? Do you think they'll be productive, good adults? No. They'll be ratchet like that. They'll be terrible like that. They'll be terrible role models like that, right? And they won't be able to break away from the mindset, right? They won't be able to break from that mindset of all that crap right there. It's like, this is what I'm saying, right? Women choose to give birth to kids of terrible men. And then these kids turn into either terrible men or women that dates terrible men. It's like, this is the insanity, right? The literal insanity. And his fatherly advice is, you gotta feed your kids either food off the floor or stolen food. That's how you want to do it. This is the thing. Women wonder why. Oh, you're a single mom, or you wonder why there's deadbeat dads. You wonder why there are abusive dads. You wonder why there are terrible men out there. You choose to give birth to terrible men's children. Those children become terrible men, or women that are into terrible men.
I made a video about Passport Bros, and look, I understand I made some of you upset, and it's okay. That was the point of the video. It was supposed to be triggering. But a lot of you brought up how westernized women aren't traditional, they don't have good morals, and they don't have good values. To be honest, are a lot of us westernized men traditional? No, we're not. So I really don't like that take. In reality, I would rather you guys bring the argument of you just want to be appreciated. I would genuinely like the conversation better if you said, when I go over to these other countries, I'm appreciated for who I am, and they actually respect the fact that I'm willing to pay for all the bills in the house so they don't have to work, and I'll pay for the roof over their head. The only thing they got to do is take care of the house, do the domestic things, and we could live together. And that way I'm still appreciated as a man, because Western women don't appreciate that. They think that's just the bare minimum because their materialistic needs aren't met. If you brought that argument to the table, I would have a little bit more respect for the conversation, because in reality, most of you go to the same spots. You go to DR, Colombia, and I want to say there's like an Asian country. I don't know the name. But you guys go to the same spots. You go to the tourist area, because my version of a passport bro is someone that goes on vacation to these spots for maybe a week, 2 weeks. You do it frequently, and then all of a sudden you find a wife. If you're living in that country, that's your new residence, I don't consider you a passport bro. But at the end of the day, I've heard the stories. Y'all get so happy that you can pay this woman $5 to feed you grapes. Let me tell you this. You know how to talk to women in America? You can get that woman to buy the grapes and feed you them for free.
So his video is pretty much just talking about, he talked about passport bros and the type, how they want traditional women, and essentially that are modern men traditional themselves, right? Western men. And this is the thing, they are, right? Men have always been raised to take care of women, to be gentlemen, to provide and protect. You only see like the new age men, right? The men that want 50-50, the men that want to split dates, all this stuff, as a result of women's actions, right? Of a result of feminism, the results of all the things women have talked about, how they said that they're strong, independent, they don't want to be controlled, you know, they don't want, like, they call men of the past abusive, right? The traditional men of the past abusive. A lot of women have said, Western women, modern Western women have said and criticized men of the past. So as a result, the new age men have turned up, right? Men that promote equality, men that, you know what, want to be treated well at the beginning, right at the beginning, equals at the beginning. If you're trying to get to know him, he's trying to get to know you. If he's paying for the date, you're paying for the date. It's just, he wants equal, right? Equality. Modern men are the results of women. A lot of men have changed their approach because of women, right? Where they say, oh, don't approach women, you know, that stuff. I don't know, so many other things that it is just the consequences of women's actions. But this is the thing, I and this is my opinion, right? Most men are naturally, or even naturally, or they know that they have to provide and protect. Most men know that you have to pay for the dates, you have to take care of the woman, right, financially. But it's the problem where you also think marriages where women complain, you're not putting enough time for the children, you're not putting enough time for the woman, you're not chipping in the household, like cleaning, cooking stuff, you're not chipping in enough. So men have changed, right? Why provide full money, like financially fully, and then do all that as well? So it makes more sense because of women's results, women's talking, that, okay, let's do 50-50 everything. Half of finances, half of taking care of the children, half of, household chores and stuff. It is the results of women. So it's not because men aren't traditional themselves. It is because men are changing themselves to fit women's ever-changing ideology of dating. Okay? To be honest, and the passport bros, men that are, to be honest, in my opinion, totally traditional themselves, where they know they want to provide and protect financially, all right? Those are the men that don't want to do the 50-50 stuff. But like again, I said, I honestly believe most men are traditional themselves. It's just because they're changing dating habits because of women's actions. That's the consequences. Women dictate how the dating market is, so men just adapt towards it.
There's this huge argument in the red pill community that it doesn't make biological sense for a man to be faithful. This is part of, they're basing this off of evolutionary psychology, and that's really where red pill comes from. They're saying it makes evolutionary sense for us to want to procreate and spread our seed. Therefore, it's giving permission to cheat. It's an excuse for cheating. And then they're saying, but it doesn't make sense for you women to do that, as if women don't have these sexual urges and desires. They're totally discounting that element of it. And they're saying, it makes more sense for you to protect your offspring and rada. And I think it really kind of reduces men to just only saying that they're sexual beings, that they don't need that emotional fulfillment in relationships. They absolutely do. And I think that you only get that with a connection with somebody, and I think that you'll see that in more monogamous relationships than you will polyamorous. Or
I wanted to talk about this, right? These kind of that topic about men wanting to sow their seed, men wanting to have multiple women. I honestly believe that topic about within the red pill community, it is honestly for specific type of men. This is something that a lot of women don't understand, that there are many types of men, especially in this instance. There's at least two types of men, top tier men and average men. I honestly believe average men that would find it a headache to deal with multiple women at a time, men that would find it a headache to try to talk to multiple women at a time, men that find it a headache to be on the dating scene, which is, I say, average men. And in my opinion, right, average men, honest, good men, find it a hassle. They're not looking to cheat. They're not looking to have multiple women, right? They're not, because again, it's a headache. It's about peace, right? And I honestly believe the majority of men, which are average men, they want just peace. So they want one person that loves them and to be with them for the rest of their life. This is the thing, the big difference is, it is usually the type of men that women want are the top tier men. Men that have lots of options. Let's say men that are 6 figures and above, multimillionaires, multi 6 figures, right? Men that has worked hard to be in a position where they can live life in abundance, right? Where, fancy cars, fancy homes, fancy clothes, fancy jewelry, where those type of men love it. They love life in abundance. They don't need to worry about, and usually they have personalities that, they're charming, they might be good looking, or they might be tall, or whatever. They have more than one attribute, right? So those type of men, they are fine with dealing with multiple women. They want to deal with multiple women. This is the thing where a lot of times women cannot distinguish that, there are, in this case, two types of men, right? Because 6-figure men are about 15% of the population, if that. So they're a small subset of men. So the argument of yes, biology, right? Men are made to just sow their seed. Psychologically, men don't really feel like it, right? Average men, most men, don't really feel like sowing their seeds all around, right? Having multiple women, because it is a hassle, it is a headache, right? But again, the type of men that these women want are top tier men. Men that have worked hard to be in a position that gives them the power, gives them the ability to be with multiple women without the headache, without the hassle, without the annoyance a lot of times, right? And it's just, this is the thing where women just can't seem to distinguish. If you want a man that's monogamous, that is loyal, that is morally sound, that is faithful, right, that doesn't want to be multiple women, get with an average man. This is the thing where women expect perfection in men. Him to be 6 figures, him to be 6 foot tall, him to be packing 6 inches or above, right? Him to be morally sound, him to be monogamous, him to be, good looking. This is a sad thing, right? No man is perfect. So this is the thing where you have to figure out what you're willing to sacrifice. A lot of women they don't want to sacrifice nothing. They want perfection. So this shows you that women don't listen, right? Women just, they really don't listen. They don't really comprehend things. Now this is the thing. The men that spread their seeds, like don't care who they have sex with and just, have sex with multiple women without no care. Right? They don't care if you become baby mamas. They don't really care if you have multiple multiple baby daddies, because again, they don't see a future with you. They don't. The men that do care are the men that later on have to pick up the pieces, right? Usually maybe the good men, maybe the men that are morally sound, that's not really into spreading their seeds or not into just having casual sex. It's the men that, after you've been ran through, after you had multiple kids by multiple men, now what is he left with? You being used, you having traumas, you having multiple kids. This is the thing, right? So those are two different men. Men that are spreading their seeds, men that are having sex with a lot of women. They don't care, because why would they care? They don't see a future with you, right? They don't. The difference is the men that do care are not like that, right? Like in the video I said, there are like different types of men, right? And there's like, let's say, the men with lots of options. Why would he care? He could move on to the next woman, just as good or better. The men that, are morally sound may not have that many options, right? But they're morally sound. They're into monogamy. They want to have kids. They want to have a family. They want to have marriage. Those are the men that care. Because now, what is he left with? Women that are being used, abused by, those type of men. The players, the bad boys, the Chads and Tyrones. See, this is the difference where women really don't understand. And that's the problem. Because they're getting triggered by certain words and don't really listen to the conversation. So